எனக்கு வந்து தேசிய மாணவர் படை பற்றி ரொம்ப நல்ல ஃபாண்ட் மெமரிஸ் இருக்குது. வாழ்க்கையில் வந்து அந்த ஒரு அமைப்பு இன்றைக்கி ஏன் அவ்வளோ பாப்புலராக இல்லைன்னு எனக்கு தோணும். ஏன்னா ஸ்கூல் படிக்கிறப்போ ஐ காட் டு டூ மவுண்டனியரிங். ஐ டிட் இட் அட் நேரு இன்ஸ்டியூட் ஆஃப் மவுண்டனியரிங். நான் ஸ்கூல் படிச்சுட்டு இருந்ததுனால தட்ஸ் வாட் ஐ டிட். காலேஜில் படிச்சுட்டு இருந்தவங்க கிளைடிங் போனாங்க, புஷ்பக் ஃப்ளையிங் போவாங்க, யூத் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் ப்ரோக்ராமில் இருந்திருக்காங்க. இவ்வளோ விஷயங்கள் என்சிசி ரொம்ப அழகாக கொடுக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு அமைப்பு, மாணவர் அமைப்பு. அண்ட் அதில் இருக்கிற ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் எல்லாருமே இன்றைக்கி மிலிட்ரியில் சர்விங் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ். அண்ட் ஜென்ரல் வாஸ் ஜஸ்ட் டெல்லிங் மீ ஹவு என்சிசி, நாட் ஜஸ்ட் தி ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ், பட் அந்த என்சிசி கூட இட்ஸ் அண்டர் த மினிஸ்ட்ரி ஆஃப் டிஃபென்ஸ். அங்கே பீகாரில் சர்வ் பண்ணுறப்போ தான் இவர் வந்து இந்த உடான்கிற அமைப்பை உருவாக்கினார். Tell us, why did you want to form Udaan, sir?
The Corona time actually captured my imagination. There were a group of boys, former NCC cadets. During the peak of Corona, they did such wonderful work. They risked their lives, they risked their families, and they went and supported so many people in Bihar suffering from Udaan. And they also organized food camps, shelters, etc. When I took over in sometime in January 2020 and later in June when I joined, I realized that the work done by them was being really appreciated by the people and by the government. So I started interacting with them. Then I realized that these were boys who were just committed to do something for society, but not looking forward to anything, and quite a few of them. I said, this level of motivation is there, but how far can they go like this? They need some mentoring, they need some organization, etc. So I found a good team which had leadership abilities, etc. And I said, listen, they were operating as what is called as the community traffic police with the police. So whenever the police needed crowd control in Chhat Puja, Durga Puja, wherever, they would get these boys and these boys will handle. So there was some understanding between the two, but there was no structure to it. That's when I told these boys, listen, organize yourself into an organization so that you have a standing of your own, you have a say of your own, and you can grow. They had no idea how to go about it. So my job was only mentoring them how to do it. And within 6 months, they got their act together. 15 December 2021, we registered NCC Udaan as a Section 8 company, not as trust, not as society. Now you'll ask why, why not trust, why not society? Because that's the easier thing to do. We didn't want to go the easy way. The Section 8 company is an NGO with huge accountability. Every activity they do, it has to be within your objectives. Your objectives have to be transparent. The money you get, the money you spent has to be transparent, and you're accountable to the government of India. Unlike a trust or a society, with the accountability is slightly much lesser in fact. So I had to teach them how to do something and become accountable. These boys took it up pretty well. They struggled. 1 year they really struggled because they were not used to working in a structured manner. They just used to helping the society and going on. But interestingly, within 1 year they got their act together, and I gave them a big challenge. I said, can we put together something called as a Patna half marathon, which is never done in Bihar ever. And I said, it will not be 300-400 people running. If NCC is doing, you people are doing, it has to be big strength. We planned a Patna half marathon. 8,000 people participated in a city like Bihar. We designed the whole thing. And by seeing the enthusiasm these boys had, by seeing the role the NCC played, Bihar government came forward to fund the entire event. And I'm so happy to announce that this Patna half marathon today has been accepted by Bihar government as a state event, state sport event. Every year it is going to be happening in November, December time. So that is what the Udaan has given to the government, and that is what government has retained. Then I realized that these boys were strong. You can push them to the limits and they can perform. So I further continued to train them, and then we realized that there is something called as disaster management. Bihar goes through floods very often. Even storms, so many accidents.
But isn't that one of those things that NCC is supposed to do after the defense forces? It's one of those organizations which will participate in national things, crisis moments like that.
True.
So you were actually bringing your cadets to live that up properly.
Yes. During Corona, we could not deploy NCC cadets because most of them are under 18. There were clear orders that no cadet will be deployed for any kind of Corona activity. But how do you support society? That is where these boys came up, who are all about 20, said, sir, we will do it, don't worry. And they really stood the mettle. So from there on, they decided that they will work in the field of disaster management. And gradually, the State Disaster Management Authority started recognizing the role they play. And sooner than later, the State Disaster Management Authority called SDMA. They developed a partnership with them to train what is called as Apada Mitra. Apada Mitra means something like a first respondent or a disaster friend. So Bihar government wants to train disaster friend for any small or big disaster who will immediately respond. And I felt an ex-NCC cadet is best armed to do this because he's gone through 3 years of training, he goes through some bit of disaster management, he learns how to do difficult lives, and it worked out very well. Today the situation is that I think there are more than 1 lakh registered volunteers with NCC Udaan Bihar alone. They are part and parcel of SDMA in training what is called as the Apada Mitra, and there's a fantastic partnership. So when they showed this kind of promise, well, we said it's time to grow. Why not go to other places? So in the meantime, I got posted to by Providence to Chennai, and that's how we said, let's try out the Udaan concept here. Well, good.
How did your Operation Vijay, the play, happen in Hindi?
Yeah, all right. So that is also a story that actually happened there. That time I had no plans of Chennai, to be very frank. So the 50 years of 1971 war, the war victory, was to be celebrated in December of 2021. And NCC, everybody was asked to do some celebration. The army had taken out a mashal all over called as Vijay Mashal. But I felt that as NCC, since NCC has deep reach, unlike the army, into the villages and blocks and panchayats, etc., we should do something more than that. That's when a combination of NCC cadets in the Udaan, we planned a cycle expedition. 30 of them, 30 cycles, mix of boys and girls. And we trained them on doing a small street play. So they did that street play and they went to 35 districts of Bihar, traveling 1971 kilometers, nearly 2000, but then we call it.
And what were the themes they performed on?
So basically, awareness on what this war was all about, how the war was fought, why this is important for India, the sacrifice of soldiers, everything small part covered. Initially when they started, there were not many takers, but after 10-15 districts, when they got to know in advance people are coming, I felt that the youth would wait, the villagers would wait for this team to come and perform. There were beautiful photographs of that. That told me that even though Bihar had a major role during 1971 war, somehow the current generation is completely unaware of the awesome work done by India, by the soldiers, by their own Bihar society on this. And it's our job to apprise them or make them aware. And it took off very well. When that happened, then we said, why not take it to the next level? That is, let's create a full-fledged play, which is not a street play, but a solid play with, professional actors, etc. So we started working on it, kind of hired a group called as Surangan to do that. Unfortunately, my posting came, and when I was to move away, so 1.5 years we worked on this to get the script together, because these boys did not have how to get the script together. So 5-6 times rereading, putting the whole thing together. Eventually something beautiful came up. We put a lovely story together about a war correspondent telling the story from his eyes. Well, I left, and somehow the NCC could not sustain the whole project. Fortunately, one NGO by name Gulmohar Maitri came forward and said, we will take it up. So I said, by all means, it's a national thing. If you want to take it up, you take it up. And that's how this organization called Gulmohar Maitri, which otherwise works on cancer and women empowerment, they took up the whole thing. And after 1.5 years of struggle, 5th of August 2023, the play was staged in a Bapu Savagra of almost 5,000 capacity, with the governor of Bihar giving away felicitations to the Veer Naris, and the play resounding with the, especially with the Agniveers. So that hall was almost 30% filled with Agniveers. When I saw the way Agniveers responded to the play, I realized this can drive solid motivation to Agniveer. That's what I tell the army also now, that is a great motivating play. Having successfully conducted that there, I went back to see the play. Then I suggested to them, why not give it a try in Chennai? That's where our Udaan in Chennai got their act together. Well, let me tell you, in just 25 days flat, the team of Udaan, they had no idea how to go about doing a play. But that is what NCC teaches you. That is what shows a leader, person who is resourceful. In 25 days flat, they made a grand play in Guru Nanak College, again inaugurated by the Honorable Governor. And in that play, although it was in Hindi, and the hall was filled with fair amount of possibly Tamil youth, but I could see how they were resonating with the play.